Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live Long and Podcast, TNG review series. It's been 26 years almost, but we're just getting started here, aren't we? I am your host tonight, acting Captain Davan.
Just look at that face. The face of a thinker. A warrior.
Well, I mean, I do have a
fine, full, dignified beard. One which commands respect and projects thoughtfulness and dignity.
I mean, from the mouth of the android, right? But how could we possibly describe the person to my right here, my co-cutor of Trek, other than
arguably the greatest human mind in the universe?
And the picture of humility. Hello, it's me, Dave.
I mean, that might be how we describe the person at the bottom here.
Oh, true.
Well, to know me
A
is
man
to love me.
For all seasons. A man of limitless accomplishments and unbridled modesty.
To love me is to know me.
We have Dave to my right and Justin to the lower red regions.
A Schizoid Man himself.
And we have a cat. We have Lulu. And out on an away mission, we have actually from the captain's yacht. Who am I kidding? They're taking it easy.
Away.
We've got Captain Dave and Adam from the Star Trek cruise. How's it going, fellas?
Ahoy, hoy.
We can't hear them.
Oh, we can't hear you guys.
But they're glad to be here.
Hey!
There we go.
Now we're here.
There we go.
From the U.S.S. Explorer on the high seas.
So we need to send you guys somebody from engineering over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Jane's going to go get the earbuds so we can probably hear better.
oh, you guys can't hear us that well, eh?
No,
we can hear you.
We can hear you. Speak up, though.
Yeah.
We're here on the promenade of the Star Trek The Cruise.
Yeah, I see.
This is not a fake background.
Yep. We've got turbo lifts going behind
Turbo
us.
lifts all around us. We got fancy wear. We got people. This is formal night here on the cruise.
There's a turbo lift right behind us there.
Yeah.
And then the whole, whoa, look at there is the Star Trek The Cruise.
Whoa.
We're right above the EMH bar.
Holograms only, or everybody welcome?
Everyone's welcome, not just holograms.
Good.
You know, so
Are they serving synthahol or?
they are serving whatever you would like. You know, the good stuff, the special reserve guiding keeps under the bar, as well as not.
As long as there's something green, I'm on board.
It is green, much like Adam's outfit tonight here on formal night. I just ran by Jeffrey Combs and Casey Biggs up on the running track before this.
Tell Jeff, give Jeff my best. We've never met,
Name
but I'm
drop.
gonna
I will when I
pretend
see. I get a photo with him in a day or two. I think.
And we've seen Tim Russ about 1,000 times. And what's his name? John Delancey.
John Delancey. Tim
And Roxanne
Dawson,
thank you.
She was hanging out with Jonathan Del Arco the other night. Going along with her husband.
And last night we watched an opera little thing with Robert Ricardo.
Yeah, he had like these opera singer with him, like one of the greatest opera singers in the world. His name is Arturo something. And he was very good, and they were all very good.
It was very good. It was a great show.
Of course, Adam hasn't been here for the entire time. He had to be rescued from being stranded on a deserted island somewhere.
Yeah, I ended up missing the start of the cruise, but I joined yesterday, so everything's good now. We're fine.
Yeah, it's
A
all
half
good.
day at Rurapente, but he's all the better for it.
Sort of like
briefly
that.
diverted to City
My
Alpha
first
4.
travel day to catch up with it was pretty rough, but anyway, we're good now.
That's good. That's good. We're here to review Schizoid Man.
We will, but listen, if we see anything interesting that we're going to point out along the way, we will.
We'll make hand signals.
Like who's that coming down the elevator? Hey, who are you? Person in the elevator.
Like there's
Turbo
some
lift.
Anyway,
great
lift.
costuming and great stuff
Yeah.
that you might want to see. So,
All right, let us know. Let us know.
Thank
But yeah, we're here to review season 2, episode 6, The Schizoid Man, or as cousin Dave would say, Schizoid Man.
Schizoid.
hey, we were wondering today whether they could actually call it that today.
Why is it
What?
offensive? I think if you call somebody a schizo, that's kind of offensive. But,
Yeah.
Oh, but it's like a
Schizoid,
term.
Schizoid and schizo are two different things.
Yeah, schizoid personality or schizotypal personality are different kinds of
Oh, and Jane is here.
of psychological
In her
formations.
Mhm.
They're not necessarily. I mean, probably to use it in the sense where you're trying to use it as a pejorative is still probably rude today as it was ever. But no, schizoid or schizotypal are
I will. I just
simply diagnostic terms.
Mm-hmm. That's why we have you here. All right. So,
And for WMIS training.
Hey, I can also do that. Awesome.
yeah. Well,
Opinions?
opinions on this episode?
I would have liked to have seen it as the role was written. I think it was Patrick Guggenheim, Guga something. Most people might recognize him from
Guga Jew, I
Braveheart
believe.
or something. I remember him as somebody's dad in The Phantom. That's what it was. In The Phantom with Billy Zane, he was the Phantom's dad. But it's an okay episode. It's a good Data episode. It kind of sets up themes again for Measure of a Man. For a season 2 episode, I don't hate it. I have some notes probably, but I mean, the first 2 seasons of pretty much any of the Star Trek series, you can have a plethora of notes on a lot of the episodes. Overall, though, I didn't mind having to rewatch this one several times because my attention span is garbage right now.
My attention span lives in the trash, so don't even worry about it. Dave, what about you?
Well, it's hard to say that I love the episode, but Ira Graves has got to be one of those great Star Trek heels. You know, he's just the worst. You know, he's like when you learn about Picasso's personal life, he's that bad, right? Like he's just an awful, entitled, puffed up, pretentious, turgid turd of a man.
We can't be talking about this Ira Graves.
Him was to love him.
Right?
And
He
to
wasn't a
love
space
him
groomer at all.
was to know him.
Precisely. Crazy ass space.
Those who knew him
Loved him.
loved him, while those who did not know him
Loved him.
loved him
Who
from afar.
could not stop saying enough about himself.
How can you not love that? Come on, like that's
no, honestly, watching Brent Spiner ham it up in this episode is just great fun. It's just so cringy. It's a fun episode in some ways. It's again, I very much agree. For season 2, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I remembered not liking it. I remember when I said I would do this episode, I was like, I don't like it though. Like I remember not liking Ira Graves and this whole like I'm in love with this woman who I'm pretty sure has been under his care since she was a child.
Yes.
So like the whole thing is
Allen
like, they always do that in
intensifies.
early TNG. Like there always has to be like some weird old dude. Anyway, so so that's problematic and not very enjoyable. But then like the Data is so funny. Like the whole beard thing is funny.
The
When
beard
he's
is amazing.
Graves is
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Was that from this episode?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
yeah.
I haven't watched this episode in a long. I know it, but now that you put that in together, it makes it even more. That is a great little. When I stroke it thusly.
Did you damage your face, Dana?
Did you damage your face?
Your face? Well, yes, I did.
There was actually a scene written for this episode that came after the Riker beard joke, where they come back in and Brent Spiner is in a bald cap because he thinks it makes him look more distinguished,
That is a bit
which I
too
thought
far.
would have been,
Oh,
but again,
man.
maybe a bit too far.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is a Tracy
Right.
Torme script,
Yeah.
and I think it shows. Did he write the Royale as well? He must have, right? Like,
I think he did.
Let me
yeah,
see.
if anyone can look that up.
I'll just
Appreciate
yeah,
it because Tracy Torme's scripts have a distinct style to them. I think.
Yeah.
Can you
I
say a little bit more about what you note about that style?
Yes,
there's
Royale
this affinity.
was.
Hello. Sorry, I think. Are we freezing on you?
Yeah, you're fine. Are you cold? Put on a sweater.
Oh, don't worry. No, we're sunburned to hell, so we're
Okay.
not cold.
We're lagging.
We're lagging a bit. The internet, we're on a cruise ship, guys. You guys,
Starlink.
yeah, Starlink. Oh,
It's raining tribbles and Andorians here, I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure.
crossing through time zones. Yeah, but I think that the Tracy Torme style is, I don't know, like this real like affection for like the past and so, like the big goodbye and sort of bringing that kind of crossover of genres into the science fiction realm. So going for stuff like A Piece of the Action and those kinds of episodes from the original, and kind of trying to recreate some of that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy Torme, if our viewers don't know, was a bigwig writer from Sliders too. Really influential on Sliders.
I love
You can really see that tone.
I did
carry
not know
over
that at all.
He was the
into that
showrunner on
Jerry
Sliders.
McConnell vehicle. Indeed.
Also the son of Mel Torme.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was gonna ask.
Wasn't Mel Torme? Is that the Velvet Fog? Is that Mel Torme?
That's him, the one and only.
Oh, that's that one.
And it also makes me think of that. We saw the Rat Pack show here the other night with Casey Biggs, Jeffrey Combs, Ethan Phillips, and Vaughn Armstrong. What a show that was, and like a throwback to the Sinatra kind of style, dirty jokes, humor, all that kind of stuff.
Snapping away.
It was maybe my favorite show of so far.
Oh yeah, they're good, man. Vaughn Armstrong's just like a super cool guy, man.
He is, but he seems like a super nice guy too.
Yeah.
The nicest guy.
Yeah. Well, let's move through this episode a little bit here, shall we? In the traditional style, as is of course tradition. So what do we got here? We got Dr. Pulaski. I still like her. If you take season 1 Beverly and season 2 Pulaski, I like Pulaski more than Beverly. But
I will agree with that.
Pulaski just
I didn't
goes
when I
on
was younger.
So
No.
prejudiced, so hard though.
She
Pulaski
gets
is
over
just
that
a
though,
space
and
wig.
She does have, for a single season character, she does show more growth than most characters do in several seasons on this show. A little bit at least in how she treats Data by the end of the season is a little. It's not great, but it's a little better. But I don't know. I like her because she reminds me of me. She's just curmudgeonly. She doesn't have time for your bullshit. A little bit more prejudice towards. Well, I mean, I don't like toasters either, but Data's not a toaster. But But
Yet.
so yeah, I don't know. I think her grumpiness fits well in my over 40. I don't have a lawn, but if I did, get the hell off it attitude.
Yeah, very McCoy-esque.
Yeah, but like she doesn't like androids, so she has a biology bias. But at the same time, she'll like inoculate herself against Klingon tea just to do a Klingon ceremony with like Worf. So she's like very respectful of, you know, sentient or not sentient, but like biological species.
She's
in
a
their
biologicalist.
I guess so. A biologist.
She's a biologist.
Well, I mean, in an interesting way, that is a theme that comes out later really strongly. You know, and another episode that you already mentioned from this season is really the founding of it for later stuff like Picard. But that question of synthetic life versus organic life is really, it's rooted in an interesting way in this episode.
I think this whole season, that theme comes up in so many episodes, really coming to a head in Measure of a Man, obviously, which I think as an episode, and I'm probably going to get flack for this one, but I think it might be my favorite Star Trek episode of all time.
It's one of mine.
Which
It's incredible.
Measure of a
I think
Man.
it blows.
I gave it an 11.
I think it blows out of the water. The episode with the flute. I think
too.
It blows out of the water any of the Borg episodes.
Yep.
And the entire series of Voyager, I can't think of a single episode that I could hold a candle to that to. Deep Space Nine has some, upon my rewatch, I will say, Davan, I do like Deep Space Nine a hell of a lot more than I realized I did.
It's pretty great.
But in all of Trek, I think this, or Measure of a Man anyway, is number one for me. So this
Well, Justin,
is
let me ask
because
you
it
this.
leads into that.
Do you prefer Measure of a Man or Far Beyond the Stars?
Far Beyond the Stars for me, that's for sure.
That is Sophie's choice.
That's hard. It's because they're such strong philosophical episodes. But I think for me personally, and I mean this is probably my privilege speaking with this one, the Measure of a Man hits harder for me topically, but historically, Far Beyond the Stars should be taught in classrooms, as far as I'm concerned. So they're both up there in my top 5 for sure, but I do like Measure of a Man slightly better. Maybe just because I love Data.
I think there are episodes of TNG that have a bit more emotion for me, but also have I might like The Wounded better than Measure of a Man. I really like The Wounded. That's a beautiful episode.
It is.
As far as TNG episodes go. But I like a bunch of DS9 episodes.
What about the Schizoid Man?
Let's talk about the Schizoid Man. I agree.
Bring it back.
So we have Deanna here, and she's hamming it up. That's when she's good. That's when Marina Sirtis is really enjoyable. It's when she's having a good time and hamming it up. When she has to do serious stuff, it doesn't always land, I find.
She's fun in this one.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So she's just laughing it up here. They walk in and see if Data has a broken face. It's not a great fake beard. It's actually kind of a very bad fake beard.
It's kind of scary.
I mean,
Look at it. Look at the
it fits with his bad fake hair, though.
Yeah, it does. Fair enough.
Like, it looks totally artificial.
Android hair is just not the best.
I think you should have kept this for the whole series. I don't understand what happens.
Riker would have to shave again. They couldn't have 2 bearded leads.
It's not exclusive. He doesn't have dibs.
He wasn't so solid before the beard.
Data should
dibs.
have gone straight to a
Totally had
band
dibs.
for the rest of the series.
Look at that beard. That's
Boom,
Dib's
boom,
beard.
Right
there.
I think they should have given him.
That's one of the thinner Riker beards. But...
Worf was forced to shave the sides down. He could only have a beard, like a goatee.
Mr. Worf. I said trim those sideburns.
It's not
Get rid of
regulation.
those sideburns.
All of a sudden, Worf became Ken Griffey Jr. for Mr. Burns.
And then you got the lower deck kid standing in the background going, Data.
That was Boggs, wasn't it? Wasn't it Boggs that he hit? No. Boggs or Mattingly or something.
Mattingly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Mattingly.
Yeah, Mattingly with the sideburns.
It's like, I still like him better than Steinbrenner.
God, we're dating ourselves here. I mean, we are reviewing an episode from 1989. So
We are.
That might
It's
be
all
a
topical
moot
stuff.
point.
So, look at young Wesley on the bridge there. The doctor just seems to come up whenever she feels like it.
This
That's
episode
the
aired
beauty
the
of being a
week
doctor.
after
You
my
can do
5th birthday.
Hmm.
So isn't
What's
it that
the-
they decide that the Enterprise has to go one way and they have to drop off the away team and leave them for a while?
Yeah, exactly. They
We
just
get
like
our-
just have enough time to like warp in, like beam them down and get out.
Right?
And we get
Our
Salar,
non-white
which is
transport
awesome.
at warp reference.
She's
Dr.
well,
Stellar.
she plays many things, right? But she's fantastic.
Susie Plaxton, yeah.
Yep. Introduction.
Mhm.
You know, again, love Beverly and everything, but if like she just took over for Pulaski after season 2, I would have been fine with that too.
Oh, that would have been a really interesting direction.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah, Vulcan Doctor for a whole season.
Mm.
She's
Mhm.
referenced in a number of episodes, but this is the only time we actually see her on screen.
No, she's 2 episodes of Salar, I think.
Is she 2
isn't it?
episodes?
I thought there was 2. Maybe not.
They talk about her all the
she's-
time. Like, it's a-
Susie
Dr.
Plaxton
Taylor.
is great.
But this is one of those episodes actually where they say there's more than one doctor on board too,
Mm.
which kind of makes
Oh,
sense.
sure,
There's
yeah.
a crew of 1,000 and
Yeah, you would need, especially when you have to do major medical missions sometimes.
or battle.
Right, and so they have two
Yeah,
doctors.
yeah. It's not like the ratio of a GP to patients. This is going to be more like, like a tertiary care hospital or something, or a small one.
So Pulaski has to go one way, and now they have this other
Mhm.
doctor to fill in, right? Which I think is interesting.
Now they have old Graves and
Yeah.
his young object of his
One eye goes
desire.
one way, one eye goes the other.
Yeah, I don't like Graves. Like the actor doesn't really do it for me. I mean, he's fine, I guess, but he
I've
doesn't
enjoyed him in
come
lots
across.
of other roles.
Yeah.
But, Graves is just such a heel. Oh my gosh.
He just doesn't come across as the smartest guy in all of humanity.
It's a tour.
No, and the whole Sun Yi situation he's got going on
Yeah,
makes me uncomfortable.
me too. Get out of here, Graves. I don't want to look at Jane Moore. Now, Susie Plaxton I'll look at. She's always captivating.
Is she also back this season as Kalar? Is that
Was that this season?
Is that this season? Yeah, Matter of Honor is coming up
Yeah.
in a couple episodes. Is that one?
Look at that look.
Is she in that one?
yeah, I
But
believe.
she's great. She's great as the Lady Q as well. She's good, always good.
And that Andorian.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Simeon from
Oh yeah,
I
exactly.
always forget that.
She's the Andorian.
Yeah, not the good one. The evil.
Not the one who dies and
No,
it really
no,
pisses off Shran.
Not her.
Okay, so who plays
Talus,
Ira?
not Talus. Yeah.
Who plays Ira? He is great.
You
This
like
is
him?
William
Yeah.
Shepard. William Morgan Shepard, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He's been in like everything.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yes.
But the uneven eyes, like he's got a face, like he's just
Yeah,
That's like the main.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
he does. Look at that face.
grandpa.
Okay,
the
here's my
whole-
question,
he
too.
even grooms Data.
The face of a thinker. A
Now,
warrior.
The face of a thinker.
if Ira Graves taught Noonien Soong everything he knows, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's yeah, okay. Yeah.
But like Ira Graves seems younger than the guy we're gonna meet in like 2 seasons in the episode Brothers, who's supposedly the Noonien Soong. And like, so was he taught by a younger man? Is that what happened here? He learned
I think-
everything from him.
I think he's just full of himself. I don't think
Me
he
too.
actually. I think he was just grooming Data to get Data's trust so he could transfer his mind into him. I don't think he actually ever knew Noonien Soong. I think he's
Or
that much of a creep.
Well, it seems like a weird
you
thing to
think
make
that
up.
whole
but-
thing is a lie? Just
Oh, I
to
think the
get
whole thing was a
access
lie.
to data.
And if you think about it, even though at this point they wouldn't have known the Noonien Sung, but if you look at what we know of the Sung family and their very strong genetic ties to how Brent Spiner looks, you can safely
Strong
say
genes.
that Noonien learned a hell of a lot from his really shitty ancestors, probably more than he learned from Space Woody Allen here.
Well, it's also, I think, in Graves' character to imagine that whatever his contribution to someone might be would be the definitive contribution, So in that sense, even if he'd met Sung at a conference once,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
he'd
had a
probably still say the
conversation
exact same thing.
and was like, "Yeah,
He just has
Noonien, you're on to something." He's like, "Oh, clearly he took everything he knew from me."
I'm basically your grandfather. Call me Gramps. Call me Grampy Graves. I like that.
How many
Grampy Graves.
How many pseudo parental figures does Data get over the course of this series?
See,
Not
that's
including
another thing.
Picard.
I'm so glad Measure of a Man's coming up because I'm kind of done with Pinocchio Data. He's fun in this one, but I like when they make him a more serious character, and they don't.
I mean,
really
even
for
when
the first
his
one.
android mom shows up, you're just like, "Well, look, another mom, another parental figure for Data." Fantastic.
And there was the one with the crystalline entity, the mother who lost her son. She's not exactly a parental figure, but she's definitely she feels like she's family in some way to the Omicron Theta colony, and his origins.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and they had B4 and lore and all these, right? So it's a lot compared to
They
some.
go back to the same well an awful lot.
I think Measure of a Man changes the show. I think it makes the writers look at Data differently, and it's a good thing.
But we're talking about Schizoid Man here, right?
Yeah, I know, but Measure of
Thanks
a
for
Man.
bringing us back.
One day,
Yeah,
we will.
thanks, Adam.
In 4
That's
weeks,
why you're
we'll
here.
cover Measure of a Man.
And we need.
Is this the one time Adam is the only one who knows what show he's on? This is a record, people. Mark it down. Mark it down now.
Wow,
All right.
Thank you, Davan.
Well, I give credit where credit is due.
Oh, yes, you do.
All right.
We keep alive.
Well, so he's doing the whole Grampy talk with Data here. It's kind of weird. I agree with Justin. He's icky. I don't like Graves.
Oh yeah, he's icky as hell.
And look, she always looks sad and weirded out. It's just weird.
She never has anybody who's her own age or friends.
No.
Imagine living with
Just
this guy
this
your
old
whole
guy.
life.
Looking at her creepy with his lazy eye all the time.
They just realized who he was, by the way. He played Klingon.
In Star Trek 6, he's the warden of that Rura Penthe colony.
Oh, wow.
No stockade, no guard tower.
Right, he's that guy. And that's the same
Yeah.
year. No, that's 2 years later. 91 is undiscovered, right?
He plays a good Klingon. I like him better as a Klingon than Graves.
And he was a Vulcan in the 2009 Star Trek 2 as well. He was one of the Vulcans who Spock flips off, where he's like, "Your human mother. They're just the your disadvantage."
He was on the council.
Yeah, and then Zachary Quinto was like, "Live long and prosper. I shove your sights, Academy." Going a rider all the way. That's it.
My imaginary sister was right about you.
And by the way, the Kobayashi Maru is about experiencing fear now. Anyway, moving on. So we have Data still talking to this guy. Always looks like he's on the meds. He's on the good stuff. Okay,
I want what you got.
Yeah, you sure do. You're on vacation. They should be giving that stuff out. There should be a little booth up where you're at, and it's just like Ira Graves meds.
We have to go to the Rise of Raves for that stuff.
It seems like space trazodone has come a little ways by the 24th century.
What is Worf's role on this away team?
Security.
Security.
What?
The doctor.
What?
Graves' ego.
Yeah.
Marina and Dr. Soler.
It seems like overkill to have a guy with a phaser on this like away mission that has no conflict whatsoever.
That's true. That's
No,
true.
no.
Dave, even by this point in this series, would you trust any outpost scientist?
No, and this one is no exception. This one is.
So now they're finally taking precautions. We call it the outpost scientist defense pattern alpha, and
it's like this isolation in these outposts just does something to people.
Right. Worf should have shot first and asked questions later, like he likes to.
Yeah.
Except he's trying to
outpost
do
scientist
here. And what
got
happened?
it, sir.
One eye was looking at me, and
his whole identity came from him, right? So
one eye was looking at me, and one was looking for me. As someone with a lazy eye, I feel like I can make that joke.
It's lazy eye
So
crime.
what is her name, by the way? Is she a name?
Blondie.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. I just call her unfortunate victim number 6.
Kareen.
Kareen.
Briannon.
Kareen, yeah.
She's not here on the cruise, but we would like to have her.
So this is the first time it's Graves and not Data right here. He's talking to Picard. And Picard,
No way.
again,
When he comes out and
Picard,
announces he's dead, it's already
What?
Graves. If you go back,
yeah.
when he comes out of Graves'
Oh, right.
he's already in there.
Yeah, right.
Look at that.
That's
He's
great.
already there.
Yeah, that's great.
Ominous.
Good call.
I think he should have drooped one eye. That's just me.
Well, he comes
It
out
would've given him
so melodramatic all of a sudden. It's like, oh.
But again, another problem I have with early TNG is they don't know how to write Picard smart. Like, he has to just be very stupid to move the plot along. They don't know how to find an intelligent way to do that. He's just like, oh, Data's clearly acted differently, but I won't notice at all because I'm season 2 Picard. Yeah.
It's not like I guess he should be like, what if Data was taken over by this old man on the planet? I should be immediately suspicious. That's Worf's job. He fails at it here.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
In here, by the end of this scene, they all should know what's going on, and they don't. And it's just kind of frustrating.
Oh, that's just the most.
But it's the best
awkward
scene
thing.
ever. I have some words, sir.
That Picard wants to do this whole ceremony for this guy, and Picard gives words, and Picard didn't even know him at all, right?
Picard has a line for everything.
Sure, but that's what you do at funerals. I don't know how many of you guys have ever done many funerals, but I've done a ton of funerals in my life.
You've done more than the rest of us combined, I am certain.
When you have to speak about somebody at a funeral, very often you haven't known them very long, but lots of other people have known them for a while. So what he's done is likely spent some time just learning about the guy's life. He's also spoken to this person, learned a bit of that stuff, and he's trying to sort of speak to universal themes about grief and loss. But it does seem a lot why do they put him on the transporter pad and not shoot him out the little pod thing or whatever? The setting does seem a bit overly grandiose, and I don't want to disagree with you on that point.
Why do they put him in the white shroud thing?
Oh yeah, that too it seems
they
like
cleaned him up.
maybe
They made him look good.
They closed his eyes.
He's got the Van Dyke now.
He closed his eyes, gave him a shave.
He looks so funny there. He just looks so, then you go look at that face, and it's just hilarious.
Sure.
The way he smiles at himself. Look how this guy looks at himself.
Dead self.
He looks at himself in the mirror like that.
It's his one true love right there.
It is. And Sailor just hates him.
Sailor's this is dumb.
Yeah. Can I go back to work now? I hate this guy. She's like,
on the panel is when you're playing a Vulcan, you obviously have no emotion, but it's always behind the eyes what you're really feeling. And if you look at Solar, it's all there. It's all there.
I'm done with this shit.
I am over this.
they could have
I
gave
should have
Spiner
gone
an
to
Emmy
the
for this
Science
episode.
Academy. This is Starfleet bullshit.
Oh my god.
They just having so much fun here. Or Spiner, I mean. But yeah, another little nacelle shot there. Good looking nacelle.
The Sard collector.
Yeah, look at that collector.
Ooh,
collecting all the Bussards.
hydrogens.
Yeah, so the crew and innocent victim number 6 are down on the planet. She's crying because, Stockholm Syndrome. Now Picard's talking to
Joy
Data.
goes
Still
down.
doesn't know it's Graves because stupid Picard.
What do you want him to be like, Dixon Hill here? He's gonna figure this out in like 2 scenes.
No, I want him to not be completely oblivious to everything that's going on always, like he is in the first 2 seasons. Like he is so stupid. Like
You think,
Picard or
season
Riker
7
takes
Picard
that.
would-
Riker
season
takes
7
that
Picard
role
would
later.
figure it out soon. Like, would
Yeah,
it figure this out faster? But
They the writers of the show always need an idiot, and it becomes Riker later, or sometimes Worf, but usually Riker. Where Riker, most of watch for it. Most of his lines on the bridge are "I've never heard of that," or "I don't know anything about that."
Riker's
Riker's just a
when he has
dummy.
to be obvious.
we gotta fill
But,
45 minutes here, David. Like we can't get to the end that fast. Like it's like
No, but I'm saying the
How
writers could
do
write
you
intelligent ways like they do later and in other series, like Deep Space
And I
Nine. No
mean-
one is ever this
No,
stupid
no.
or oblivious.
Yeah,
They did have.
Whoa,
how do you
But-
fill
there we are.
45 minutes without an idiot?
I'm saying that's what I'm
45
saying. Well,
minutes, you have to have idiots.
in,
You got to do a
in
class
this,
L probe on who are the biggest idiots in Star Trek and why.
it might be
The
season 1
Herbert
Picard.
rundown.
We should
Or
we should
season
save
5
that
Riker.
save that for the holiday season this year, and we'll do that as the Festivus episode.
There you
And
go.
we'll air our grievances with the idiots of Star Trek.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So moving on. I mean, this is like Deanna. I think she's getting suspicious. You know,
She's starting to
look
feel
at that face. Something feels wrong, Captain.
She's got her back.
Everything's fine, Deanna. It's still season 2.
Okay, the bigger idiot here is Deanna, because Deanna can detect when Data has emotions. So why can't she detect that Ira has emotions?
The way they write her powers is wildly inconsistent.
Yes, true. But
It's weird, 'cause-
theoretically, she's more responsible here than Picard, who doesn't have those powers at all.
Like
But
sometimes she
it-
can
okay.
pinpoint one person out on a planet she's not even on. They're just floating around a planet.
So-
She's like, there's somebody down there who's upset. And sometimes she's like, there's too many people in the bridge and she can't focus through the noise.
Right.
Just to
Jaemeel.
play devil's advocate, in the episode with Tin Man, which may be after this, so maybe sort of moot, I forget. The
think it is
fellow
after
there
And LeBron.
loves spending time with Data because there's absolutely nothing there
hmm
Yes.
For him, yeah, it's true.
for
Damn,
him.
Albert.
And I don't know if that would be true for Troy as well, but Data may be one of the only people that
You should really get a holodeck that guy. He would have been better off, just on a deserted moon somewhere.
Yeah. Stick him in a hard drive.
Well, so he's getting mad. He thinks everyone's flirting with his girl.
There's sometimes when
Getting
Brent,
upset.
really, because they've already been through the whole thing with lore, right? I think that it does give credence to the whole, you should be able to spot the Data, and just those facial expressions on Brent's
Yeah.
minor, are clearly more lore than they are Data.
Yeah.
They do figure it out. It just takes maybe 10 minutes longer than we'd like, but they got to fill the hour.
Yeah. It's
Well, and I think
yeah,
we're
it's
also dealing there with the difference
guess.
between episodic and serial storytelling. Right? Like, in part, if this were a DS9 episode or a later Trek episode, they might pick up more on those continuing things. But in TNG, they really tend not to as much.
shuffle
It takes
along.
quite a while to get into that sort of
Yeah, it really does.
stride for them,
Mhm.
which is understandable. I mean,
Well,
They're
we're
trying
still
to build
very
a new
much like
style
with
of doing Star Trek.
Roddenberry in the mix
Yeah.
here, right?
well,
Mhm.
Gene is Gene, Tracy Torme, and Richard Manning, who, for our Farscape fans, is really big writing or a writer on Farscape. Those are the 3 writers on this one, and I think even as I've started to watch Farscape, the first few episodes again, and I can sort of see some of the writing parallels between some of the stuff in this episode and some of the over-the-top Farscape
Farscape is
stuff
glorious.
Oh,
It's so much
it's much
fun.
better than I remember.
It's so good. Once he, it's so
but-
good. It just gets
But
so
yeah, no, I think this episode in particular does suffer from that episodic versus a serialized version of Star Trek, where, I mean, this whole season, if it had been serialized a little bit better, I think could have been a great season, given some of the philosophical threads that run through it. But like you said, I mean, this is 89, right? Like, they didn't even know they were gonna have a second season. It was all shook up because of the behind the scenes stuff too. So given all of that, I'd say they do pretty well in this episode.
One of the better ones so far, up to this point.
And definitely a strong Deanna episode for me, even though her powers are typically wildly uneven.
Oh, and here's where he's coming. There's where Data comes to confess.
Oh, look at
It's
the.
just like, I can love you now like I wanted to. Like I always wanted to. It's like, what? Always? Always wanted to? What do you mean always?
Like, tell me that's not the face of a man who's about to say, well,
yeah, fully functional.
Really
Several techniques.
Quite the woman.
Got an android.
Yeah, a handsome woman.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the techniques this android knows. I will rock your
Fully
socks off.
functional.
Even though I raised
Yeah.
you like a daughter, and like this is like
It's so creepy.
It's so creep. It's so cringe. You know.
Guy
Sure
who's
is.
in the background off screen,
Well, I
waving
just-
a literal
his-
red flag.
Calling
His
security.
sense of ownership is so terrible.
Where's Worf on this? Like, where is he protecting people from this man? Come on now.
Yeah. Shoot him. Shoot
Yeah,
him.
exactly. Outpost. There he is.
Ah,
Oh, what just walked in? Oh, I hope he's armed.
Yep. He's out.
speak of the Klingon.
And now they're trying to explain it. Yes, Captain. Haven't you noticed how Data's acting differently? Well, I would have in a couple of seasons, but I just, I was going along for the plot. And then
Can I
back
just
to
ask a
these
question?
two.
Just if you go back to that shot of Solar, part of me has to wonder if, because famously, Diana Muldaur did not get along very well with the cast, really, and in particular with Patrick Stewart. And I wonder if they were already thinking about an idea of having a different guest doctor.
Well, that
I
would be
wondered about that.
Interesting.
Solar would have been awesome.
And Pulaski's never technically a regular.
No, she's not, and she doesn't.
No.
Really, but even Crusher doesn't really get good until season 5 or something.
Yeah.
True.
And even then, they don't give her much to do. So they're more of creepy data. Worf's just like, is that Data acting creepy?
This
Shoot him!
is not okay.
Shoot him! Data, are you an outpost scientist? No, why would you
Please
ask?
blink twice if you need
They
assistance.
taught us about this at the academy.
Look
Oh,
forward and
one
look at
way.
me at the same time. Warp core.
Always a good place for a chat.
Oh
Good heroic
yeah,
Klingon
so
conversation.
Data's being
down
very
there.
threatening here. He's telling Picard not to come up because he might not like it. But he's like such a wimp. Like Picard gets up there, he's just like, "Well, you're lucky I'm not violent." My
He's
threat was
gone from
meaningless.
being completely full of himself to just being a violent. Like, I don't even okay, it does fit the clinical definition of a schizoid personality. You could draw that it's someone with that condition put into a body without the limitations of a human body might, I guess, go to these extremes. But to me, this felt odd.
It did feel to me as well. Someone who had no history of that kind of thing is all of a sudden just smacking everyone.
I mean, to me, it smacks more of the fact
Yeah,
that
we're doing a.
one of the late stages of human development, right, in terms of late senescence, is ego dissolution. People don't tend to enjoy it very much, but we spend the first 25 or so years of our life building up a self, and then at the end, that self has to come apart as we die, and it'll do it naturally or it'll do it under other processes. And it feels like, in some ways, part of the part of what we're seeing here are things like mirrors of of impulse dysregulation, or some of those other features of ego disintegration or dissolution that's occurring under a disease process like an advanced dementia or something like that, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes people still have fairly capable bodies, but the disease progress has gone to such an extent that they may lift up a table and carry it around while people are trying to convince them to set it down because it's dangerous, but that's not really what's in their
And
mind
we do get
cognition.
that scene later where he accidentally injures Kareen because he doesn't
Mhm.
realize the strength of the android body too. So I mean that could also factor into this scene, like, especially because in his human body he would have had emotional like safeguards, whereas in Data's
Mhm.
body he doesn't have those either, right? So lashing out might be
Oh, yeah.
easier because he doesn't have that other emotional intelligence of tempering those impulses as he might have had as a man too. I guess I didn't.
That's
think
interesting.
About it that
You're
way
like
before.
translating it into a different like positronic medium, eh? That
Exactly,
consciousness.
like your brain,
I
it's
see- I
not
think
going
I
to
see what
work
you
the
mean.
same way.
And I think what saves the scene
That's a really
somewhat too
interesting
is how quickly he recognizes that he's not acting like himself as well. Because Picard's just like, well, who's the next one? And the next accident. And then he immediately knocks Picard out by accident. He's just like, oh, who is the next one? Just keeps smacking everybody.
Picard to bridge, beam Data, Mr. Data into space. You know?
I'm assuming.
And then fire phasers
at
at him.
Scene
there is
where
some
he's just-
kernel of lucidity there. It's true.
Yep.
True. And you feel like there's just about to be that scene where he looks at Data's hands and goes, "What have I become?"
Exactly.
You're the same jerk you were before. You just got super strength now. Basically.
Yeah. So there.
The
smacked
realization look on his
smacked
face.
him down.
What have I done?
Like, oh my god, Captain!
What have I done again? Yeah.
I've extended my life,
but then they find Data on the floor unconscious. A couple seconds later.
That's the same spot where Lore left him, isn't it?
Yes, roughly. Yeah.
For the amount of times they find people unconscious in their crew quarters, I'm starting to see why the Enterprise was carpeted.
Yeah. Good point. Especially since Frakes had a bad back.
Actually, just soft foam.
Yeah.
There's like
memory foam floor.
There's a 4-inch foam pad under all the Enterprise carpeting.
The Enterprise is fully ergonomic.
I mean, how can you argue?
How can you argue with facts? Like, no. But so yeah, they find him there, and he's pretty funny when he wakes up because he just starts talking like Data, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, that's Data." Graves isn't that good of an actor; he couldn't pretend to be Data. He'd all be like,
"Yeah,
stop looking at my girl." Like,
he's not making those smarmy faces anymore. So
now you get to have a life, meet a guy, raise a family, maybe.
Yeah.
But isn't the end of this episode that he says, or we find out from the note that she reads that Graves has put his memories into the computer, his knowledge, but not his personality?
Yeah.
I don't buy it. I'm starting to.
Well, they said
that would have been a great pickup for another season, right? Graves,
Secret Moriarty.
I think they implied that he didn't have the technology to put his personality into it. He
that could be
only had the technology to do the informational kind of transfer. One thing we skipped with her that was a good scene though is when Graves is just like, "I'll make an android body for you too, and we'll both, see the end of the universe together." And she's just like freaks out immediately. She's just like, "I will not let you take my life from me." Like,
that's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, that's a no. Like, that's not living forever. That's not the life that I want. Like, she's an interesting person. Yeah, so there it is, going into the computer. Dr. Ira Graves, PhD.
It's being a creep.
Synapse.
Scientist, creep.
Yeah. Maybe the king of the creepiest outpost scientist.
Hey guys, if you want to see
Yeah,
more
maybe.
of this, we could do a
Yeah.
rating, and we could maybe take a walk down on the main promenade if you want to see.
Yeah, sure. Hold
Oh,
on,
yeah.
we're down there.
Sam's
Yeah, I'd
calling
love
for a
to see
tour. He also asked a question about, is there a TV on the cruise, and is there a Star Trek channel on the cruise? And Sam, I'd like to tell you, every channel is playing different Star Trek movies, different episodes.
Sam, it's very dangerous. Like, you go to bed and you can start like the motion picture and then watch every single movie right through the end and then start again.
Yeah. You
So
put the
I
Voyager
assume-
channel on, you put the T Space Nine channel on. It's all here.
You can do that now. It's called Paramount Plus.
This is what you're. I assume this is what you boys have been doing this whole time, and then going to sick bay and mainlining caffeine so that you don't actually need to sleep.
Something like that.
I was going to say, but Davin, are you doing that on a boat?
No, no.
We're
I
on
mean,
a boat.
my house might start floating
We're on
here
a
soon.
boat.
But
We're
They
great
at
do
parties.
need nautical pashmina themed Afghans.
Exactly.
Oh.
I got my flippy floppies.
hold on now.
It does
Bring
look
up
like
this.
quite a vessel back there.
Yeah,
Those-
let's do ratings and then get to that.
All right. Well,
Let's do ratings. Yeah.
my ratings here. Do I have my ratings here? Oh, I gotta switch this. Hold on. I think my version of the ratings there, Dave, might be read only though, so I don't know that I can change anything. Well, here's TNG ratings. So let's share that. That's not it. There we go. Share. So,
You may have to unhide columns there, Davin, just to let you know. Do you know how to do
okay,
that?
well, no, I don't have to do anything. We're just gonna go look.
There it is.
Schizoid Man. See if I can change, put anything in. Oh, what would I give this one? I give this like a 5. Oh, I can hit it. Nice.
Just the
All right.
No fun facts,
Yeah.
Sam.
It's funny, but it's like also half about just like a creepy kind of like sort of pedophile. I don't know.
I'll go 5 on this one too, Davin.
Yeah. Okay. 5 for cousin Dave. All right.
me,
So
you know-
okay, how do I bring other people in here now?
So select column H there, or W, I mean.
W. Yeah.
Or even if you just click those little arrows there, like those, yeah, those should unhide the
these?
columns next.
Oh, this one. Oh,
No.
No,
Or
that's
just-
not it.
We can figure it out later.
Oh, like this. Like this. These ones here.
You have to like select all the columns, like sort of like across. It's sort of drag it.
like that.
No.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a 7.
I love
either
the
way.
look.
that-
of
Okay, okay.
concern
Then
on
right click,
Dave's
right
face
click,
As
right
he
click and
started
put
moving, shit was like,
hide.
no, not
Unhide
that.
columns. There you go.
I did it.
You did it.
Look at
Can I get a
that.
round of applause, please? That was pretty big for me. Good, thanks. All right. So who do we got here? What does Jane want to give it a rating? Is she still kicking around there?
She left. I don't know where she went.
Okay.
We're listening to us.
Yeah, she could only. Yeah, it was, we had to turn.
Adam, what do you give it?
To know this episode is to love this episode.
Oh God.
I'll give this a 7. That in itself is great.
Yeah, oh, it is. It's why it has a 5. Justin,
7 as well.
This is what JT does.
7.
Oh yeah.
Where can we put Puxley's rating here? He can be Shives.
Put it under Shives for now. I'll fix it later.
Yeah. All right. What do you want to give it, Dave?
I think it's a 6.
6. All right. So what are we averaging here? It didn't count the
So you
averages.
just copy the that 3.9 there. You see that in the yellow column?
Yeah.
Control C,
Control C.
and then click on the one below and Control V. This
V
is
or B?
Davan computers.
V or B?
V.
Control V. So you have to
Like
There
Velociraptor.
you
It's
go.
a 6.
We're averaging a 6.
Well,
I
that's
was
pretty
correct.
good for this episode, I think. Yeah.
Not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad. So just I'll put this out for the record of note. At my funeral, whenever it should happen, the smuggest of my friends is to lift that entire eulogy, and then once it's finished, sing Blue Sky as off-key as possible until people start to leave. That's so write that down. Make sure it happens.
All right.
Okay.
Anyone else want to give Measure of a Man an 11 while we're here? All right. Let's get out of here. Well, do you have any fun facts or anything like that, Justin?
Oh, I do. Before we start the
Okay.
tour, let's see. What do we got?
We got fun facts with Justin here.
There was a flipped shot when the Enterprise returns to Graves World. The registry of NCC 1701D was mirrored. Shades of Grey has a connection to this episode. Let's see, what else was there? That's pretty much it. I already said about the Picard bald cap thing with Data.
I wish there were stills of that available.
The landing party is one of the only where at least one member isn't 100% human. And the scene where Troy has to leave when she's looking at Data's beard is actually unscripted because Marina Sirtis literally couldn't stop laughing at how ridiculous Brent Spiner looked. But LeVar Burton and Brent Spiner stayed in character, and so that is a completely genuine reaction from her when she has to excuse herself.
Oh,
She was
I love
actually
that.
excusing herself from the set because she couldn't stop laughing.
First away mission with no human crew, huh? How'd that away mission go?
Well, Data got co-opted. But yeah, let's go to Adam and Dave for a tour.
Okay, so
All
we're
right.
in the turbo
Tour
lift.
time.
Turbo lift.
Oh.
We're going down to 5. We're going down to the promenade right now. It might be a little noisy, so just be.
Are you disappointed that it doesn't have one of those TOS knobs to turn?
Yes, actually.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I'm a little
Even, like,
disappointed too.
If you have a look here, guys, like even like the turbo lifts themselves are labeled turbo lift.
That's cool.
Nice.
I'm so now. You know what? I'm so jealous already that I'm just the jealousy is amped up every second of this tour.
This is
Yeah,
an
well.
incredible experience. I'm not to cause any jealousy or FOMO, but this is an amazing time. I got to tell you, what a convention! Because a lot of the modern conventions are mixed of everything. This is pure Star Trek, and that's really nice. And
Let's
there's
just show this.
3,000 people. They've got this amazing backdrop here. People get their pictures in front of.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're gonna move because they're doing pictures here. But
Down here, we are now going to the EMH hub, the emergency medical hologram, emergency mixology hologram. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Go order a warp core breach. See what happens.
World Core breach.
and you got people in.
People are lining up.
Oh, it's the next.
Okay, go find the back room where the Ferengi are playing Tongo. That's where I want to go.
For Robin Curtis and Savick pictures right now. She's in full makeup
Beautiful.
for the pictures. Now we're heading down the promenade. We'll as we pass things, I will point them out to you here. But there is a there's
Robin Curtis right there.
right there in full uniform. Let's get her on camera. We're using a laptop here, so
We're allowed to do this.
Hi, Robin Curtis.
That's pretty awesome.
she's heading over to her backdrop here.
You see?
Yeah, there she is. That's Robin Curtis with the ears. Everybody. So,
Pretty
very
good.
and all
Hashtag my favorite Savick.
Hashtag my favorite section. We're heading over here to the Kapla pub, which everyone will yell Kapla at you as you go by.
Do it.
The internet, everybody. Kapla!
I want a kapla.
Kapla!
Nothing? I hear no one say kapla.
Kapla? No, there's no Kaplas right now. It's kind of a lower key night, maybe.
Bit of a
No,
subdued crowd.
Where are the Klingons and the Ferengi? That's where the party is. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
My favorite here too is like the hairstyles by the Kazon is like the shop you can go to get a do if that is your style. And up here we have the Nebula Coffee Company, where it's just, there's coffee in that Nebula. You get your coffees here. There's the Tuvix Transporter Repair Services, and then underneath it says Tuvix Transporter Too Soon. We're heading at the end here at the promenade, and this is the Voyager Lounge, where we do some smaller events and different conversations with the people who are present. I did a whole thing with Nicole DeBoer with the it was like Build an Alien, kind of like Build a Bear, but
we can go down one level.
Down to one level.
Here, let's go down. Yeah, one.
At which point are you below sea level?
We're gonna have to take the lift.
Okay.
To get down.
Let's do that.
Oh, I hear me some Voyager music.
Me
Oh yeah,
too.
the music is going on all the time. They're playing this one song that is really driving me nuts. I gotta tell you.
All I'm saying is I'll believe you guys are on a boat when I see proof.
They don't have the Enterprise theme playing constantly, do they?
Not constantly.
Well, you have heard
That
it.
would make
Yeah, I've
us
heard it.
a long road.
It would be a short road to the nearest speaker, I'll tell you that.
There's only one definitive version of the Enterprise theme, and that's Cousin Dave and I. So
I think plain and simple Taylor's
I feel like I know
needs
I
We
know.
lost.
now they're back.
to do
Sorry,
a cover of
elevator.
On a Boat, but it's on a ship,
Oh,
and it's Star
is this where
Trek.
they do the
themed.
makeup right over here?
Yeah.
Let's
You
show
could
them.
probably do that.
It's over there. This way.
I will lend my lyrical abilities if you require.
No, we can't. We got it.
Yeah, do it. That'd be
Oh,
great.
Pike's Kitchen.
This is the Captain Gorn's
Oh, we'll walk through the casino.
and the Quarks Casinos up here.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to go to the gig. I want the Ferengi. Show me the Ferengi and the
Is there a
Klingons.
Dabo table anywhere?
Dabo!
Are there
Dabo!
Dabo boys and Dabo girls?
Oh,
I feel like
Dabo! Yes.
Great.
You were saying they're Scotties. Yes.
Can we show you on camera, sir? You have to see this fella here. There you go.
that's a great,
Oh,
Is that
bloody
Scotty?
great costume.
You were a hero in World War II, sir.
Resurrected.
Exactly. Now this is the Quarks Casino. It's good if you bring lots of platinum with you. You can see here the sign.
They're frozen up again.
Apologies. We are on the move.
Can you? Are we not moving, guys? Or
Oh yeah,
no,
it's a little spotty, but you're doing
hopping
okay.
along.
Well, it's a little quiet here in the casino at the moment.
Sometimes you freeze up like Andorian breast milk.
Even like the game tables are all branded Star Trek here as well. So like this is the blackjack table.
That's so awesome.
Look at her jacket. Love that.
Oh, there's one of those leather jackets. This is over by the makeup.
Well, I feel like I've already experienced the whole thing. I'm glad I didn't pay any money to go. 'Cause
I wish it was
Now,
not
right
on
over-
a boat.
Right over here,
You don't like
people can get
boats?
makeup done.
I don't like
You can-
boats.
I've seen people being done as Klingons, Calaxians. Now, let's say a Borg makeup is being done this time.
Nice.
They also have this cool like stand-in
Get in there and you can
picture.
Watch. He's going to be an action figure.
Oh, I thought it was the gas chamber from like that Enterprise episode, and he was gonna go in there and get gassed.
Remember, Dave, I am and always will be your friend.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
we're coming to an end of this tour right now. But
All right. Well, I guess we're coming to the end of this
Going on.
podcast.
Well, thanks for an impromptu tour of the SS wherever you
Some-
are.
We're on the
U.S.S.
Explorer.
Explorer. You know, it's
in the
funny
Crimson
that's
Sea.
the name. That's the name of the artificial Star Trek ship that I invented when I was like 11 and used to write fanfic
Yeah, sure.
stories about.
Nice.
I was
Hey,
on the U.S.S. Explorer.
here. Pose. We're getting a picture taken, everybody.
No,
with the laptop.
Hey, smile, everybody.
See, it's like we're there.
See, it is like we're there.
Downstairs is Studio B, where I saw Tim Russ play.
So, does this mean on my next EI report I got to say I was out of the country at some point? Is that what just happened?
You were on a boat. You did it, Justin. You got over your fear of boats.
Tavern is on a different deck.
Honestly, when it's that big, does it even feel like a boat? Like,
No,
you
you
feel like
don't feel like you're.
yeah,
not
I
at
didn't
all.
think so.
You feel like you're in a hotel unless you're like
Yeah.
above, right?
It's one of the favorite movies, everybody.
Some first contact, perhaps?
No, that's Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Oh, Nemesis. Right. With Blue Sky, actually, the scene.
I guess we've done a full circle here. Right?
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
So, do you want us to take you anywhere else?
To the
Riza?
transporter room to
You can take me to Riza.
beam me there. Yeah. What about
Take
Jamaharon?
me to the stars.
Jamaharon.
Set a
Where's
course.
the
second star
Jamaharon
to
fun
the right,
room?
Well,
straight on until
Chase
morning.
Masterson was hosting the Ryza party the other night, the Festival of the Moon.
Let's go get another Kapla, and that'll end the night for these
So,
guys.
yeah, we're gonna.
You know what they say, when the Horgons are rocking, don't come a knocking. This is going off the rails.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
The
cover
Voyager's 30th
with us
anniversary.
somewhere in there.
There's a lot of Voyager themed things here as well, or special emphasis on
yes.
Voyager this year.
Oh yes, very much looking
Robert Doug
forward to
McNeil
that
had to
when it comes
leave,
out.
and Kate Mulgrew joined with Adam.
Oh, Kate Mulgrew's there? That's
She's
awesome.
here now. I haven't seen her yet, but I heard her. She did the all aboard call.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. Come in for some hair-raising deals. 20% off here at the Kazons.
Vulcan Organ.
Okay.
The DN
So-
Organ Exchange.
So, guys,
Do
we're
they
gonna
beam
end
worse
this with
of,
just one more
Kapla.
Kapla. Okay, one more time, guys.
1, 2, 3,
Kapla.
All right, yeah, with that. Whoop.
Well, I
Thanks,
think there's only
guys.
one thing we can say after that.
That's true. End transmission.
They say resist is futile. That individual is out of style. It's a sin.